How many of us have stories that our either mothers or caregivers love to tell about our childhood? Sometimes they're embarrassing, sometimes not, sometimes they're inappropriate, sometimes they aren't. So if you're anything like me, like you have a gang of stories that have been told to you that you can almost recite, right? And so I have a couple stories in particular that I'd love to share with you. One of them is that, I have an older sister. We're about 12 months apart. And my older sister basically came out of the womb talking, bossing everybody around and drinking coffee, right? And in comparison, I could not talk, basically. That is the thing that is like etched in my memory. I was told that I would try to have conversations with my mom and with, pretty much anyone who would listen. And in comparison to my sister, like people didn't understand me. Like they just thought I was cute. And so like my take on it is like they just pacified me like we, do sometimes with young people, like, oh, okay, you're so cute, look at her trying to talk kind of thing, right? And so basically I was like so behind, like in comparison to with my sister, that my mom actually had me evaluated and they found that there was nothing wrong with me, but I had a couple theories. I had a couple theories about like, just like why, folks couldn't understand me. And I was also reminded, like when I think about that story, I think about the power of the tongue. Like, what does it mean when you're telling a young person that they can't talk? And, fast forward years later, here I am doing a Blaze Talk, and imagine the journey that I had to do to get to this place. Another story that my mom loves to tell me is, and everyone else who would listen, I would say, is the story about me basically locking myself in the bathroom. And in the bathroom, once the fire department came and knocked down a door, they found that I had surrounded myself with maxi pads. Like they were just all over the walls. And like that is funny, it's embarrassing, it's a number of things. And when I think about this in relationship to who I am now, I think that, maybe there was something deeper going on to that, right? Another story that my mom tells is that like I loved to eat dots. I know it's weird. I don't know where I got this from. I don't know like where, like, I don't know, right? But apparently I would, like see a dot, like a random dot, right? And I would touch it and then eat it. And so this was something that my mom would have me reenact up until this day. She's like, Annika, there's a dot. Do like you were when you were a little girl. Eat that dot, Nika. And like any good daughter, I would eat the dots, right? Like my mama want me to eat the dots, I'm gonna eat the dots. And they hurt nobody, right? But these stories, like they're funny, they are somewhat painful when I think about some of the things that were going on when some of those things were happening. But most of all, they basically have a lot deeper meaning. And I'll come back to the dot story and I'll come back to the other the other two stories that I've shared with you as well. My name is Annika Leonard, and I am the CEO of Priceless Incite. Our mission is to uplift the experiences of Black women, girls, and youth who are impacted by violence through prevention, intervention, and leadership development. I am the mother of a 27-year-old and a 26-year-old. Yes, I was a teen mom, and Black don't crack. I am the auntie to about 16 young people, and I am a community auntie that will pull up and spin the block with that energy. I have a number of experiences that help me connect back to my work with young people, and that help me come back and connect back to community. So back to these early childhood experiences, they were connected to something deeper, specifically the impact of violence and trauma in my life. I learned that basically these experiences helped form some of my earliest core beliefs. And then they got together with the way I was socialized to be a Black girl in America. And boom, you just had this creation of this person who, I'm still unpacking who that person is today as I reclaim who I'm supposed to be. So with the MaxiPad story, what I didn't share is that there was a lot of arguing and a lot of things going on in the house that I just couldn't understand in my like 4-year-old brain, right? And so what I'm thinking is that my instinct was to protect myself. And I connect that to how, sometimes even as an adult, we're socialized to really protect everybody else. But in that moment, little Annika knew that she needed to protect herself. I also connect those stories back to needing to prove myself and overextend myself. And those things happened in both my business and my personal life. There were so many things that happened, between little Annika who locked herself in the bathroom to the Annika that you see here today. And I can honestly point back to so many instances where I betrayed myself, where I put other people's needs before mine, and then sat and wondered why, why my needs weren't being met, or why people didn't understand that I needed help too, or that I needed love too, or I needed encouragement, or I needed celebration too. In the experiences that I had, I took those experiences and formed Priceless Incite. So I've experienced domestic violence, sexual violence, stalking, trafficking, dating violence, like you name it, in terms of the gender-based violences, and I've experienced it, right? So I formed a organization, Priceless Incite, and our job was literally to help young people who have these experiences, this set of experiences, and basically help them process those experiences so that they didn't grow into adults who felt like, like everything that happened was their fault, which is pretty much the angle that I came from. Like everything that happened, everything that went wrong, somehow I connected it to a deficit that was going on in me. And so I gave and I gave and I gave. I gave in the jobs that I worked in. I gave to my community relentlessly as a community activist. Even in the business that I formed, I only formed the business so that I could be like official, but in the business that I formed, like I was pretty much working for free, which, like I know Casey would probably hear that and be like, what? Like, no, we're going to, get your money, sis. But no, I was working for free. And so the impact of violence and trauma on my life as an entrepreneur has been significant. And I'm just learning this now. And I feel like it's very important to go back and to let other people know how it's impacted me, so that if you see these things showing up in your life and in your professional journey and personal journey, by the way, because, it's not like we can really keep the two separate. But if you see these things showing up, I have some suggestions for you, sis. And I also have another story for you. So I share with you that, I started this organization. I've been giving my all in the community. I've overextended myself. And for me, that looked like being a strong Black woman, always pulling up for a crisis, always being there for everyone. In 2018, y'all, I had such a rude awakening. I mean, it was a glorious year in a lot of respects, because like my company had just gotten a huge grant, and it was a local grant. I was so excited. It was the biggest that we had so far. And that's why I say huge, right? But it was the biggest that we had so far. And I felt like it was my opportunity to really like show everybody that, like I was worthy, you know what I'm saying? That I was worthy to exist, that I was worthy to be, doing this work in the community. Even though I had been doing it for so long, I was the go-to person in the community. Like I somehow still felt like I needed to prove myself, which is connected back to some of those early childhood memories and those early adverse experiences. And so back to 2018. So I had a condition called endometriosis. I've had it since I started having cycles. And in 2018, I was dealing with the emergence of endometriosis, but I also started dealing with adenomyosis, pelvic floor dysfunction, and interstitial cystitis. So all four of those were conditions that cause chronic pain, chronic fatigue. And I basically the journey started in May of 2018 and ended in, or concluded, I should say, in December. Well, I don't want to say concluded, because I'm still, I'm still dealing with the impact of those conditions. But for the purposes of this story, I will say that, like I said, the onset of endometriosis was in 2018. And by the end of 2018, I needed to have surgery, which is the only way to really remove and have some relief for the endometrial tissues that I was experiencing. And so throughout this process, I made it clear to people, like, I can't show up the way I used to show up. Like, I actually need help. I got to the point where I couldn't walk. I could barely move, actually. It was just debilitating pain. When I say debilitating, I mean debilitating. I couldn't drive. I had friends accompanying me to hospitals. I had friends cooking meals for me. There were times where I couldn't even get out of the bed to throw the keys down because like I was just in so much pain. And so my community really, really stepped in for me. And so that's another thing. Sometimes when you experience trauma, sometimes you feel like you don't have the right to ask for help or you don't deserve help. But might I suggest that you ask for help when you need it? And that if you are turned down, that you keep asking, because somebody out there recognizes who you are and what you're doing, and they will step in to help you. So don't give up if you ask for help and find that, no one in your immediate circle will help you, because sometimes it's like that. So in December of 2018, I ended up needing surgery and had the surgery. And all this time, I'm battling with the doctor. I'm battling with ER doctors, with my personal doctor, with everyone in the medical industrial complex, because I was in so much pain and they basically did not believe me. And it was a very, very basically a horrible experience. Like I wouldn't wish it on anyone, but it's the tale of many Black women who have chronic conditions like that, lead to chronic pain and fatigue. So I ended up having my surgery and I was telling my doctor, like, I really need you to check like something's going on with my intestines. And this must have been spirit, right? I'm like, something's going on with my intestines. I don't know what, but I need you to promise me that you're going to check my intestines. They ended up checking my intestines and needing to do an emergency surgery inside of my surgery. I stayed in the hospital for a couple of days, and after my hospital stay, I was sent home, and none of my family and friends came to stay with me, for the next couple of days after that. So that's when being a strong Black woman goes wrong. I could not believe it. Like I literally woke up in pain, in so much pain in the middle of the night that I was frozen, right? And I called everybody and cussed them out. I'm not gonna lie. I said, how could y'all send me home by myself? Knowing all that I've experienced to get to this point, and knowing that, I just had this surgery inside of a surgery. Like, how could you send me home by myself? And that's when, once again, the community stepped in. My sister stepped in, my brother, my nieces, my nephews, like everyone stepped in again at that point. But I needed to ask for it. So we have to be, like I said, not afraid to ask for help. So I'll share another story. Last week, well, this is December now, but in early fall, I was visiting Milwaukee and I used my mom's car. And while I was using her car, which is a fairly new car, it's like the 2020 or 2021. I'm not sure which one, but it's a fairly new car. But I'm driving it and I start to smell something funny. I'm like, what is that? Right. And I'm thinking nothing of it, but I'm like, okay, I definitely got to tell my mom I'm smelling something funny. But by the time I go to pick up my mom, I'm on the highway to pick up my mom from work. And I see that, her car is not only smelling funny, but it's starting to sound funny. I'm like, oh no, I've been here before. Her engine is about to lock up. That was oil that I was smelling, right? So I'm freaking out. When I say I'm full blown freaking out, I am crying. I call her. I'm like, Mom, your car, I'm on the highway. I'm scared, I finally get the car off the highway. I pull over into a, this part of town. I'm nervous about that as well. And I end up being, like my mom calls the car company and they get it towed. And I'm basically like standing outside at this point, but I was crying my eyes out, everybody. Like I said, I was freaking out. And I had a moment where I realized, like, wow, I am really here crying and having a fit because, like, first of all, who wants to drive someone else's car and have it break down on them, right? Like, whether it's your fault or not, right? I didn't want to create a hardship on my mom. But more importantly than that, I didn't want to create an inconvenience for my mom. And in that moment, I realized, like, I have literally spent my whole life trying to be perfect for her, trying to not be an inconvenience for her because she has so many things going on, like trying to raise us on her own. It was 4 of us. She tried to raise us on her own. She dealt with some, like some bad relationships, and I was really trying to be the perfect child for her. And that was the root of like codependency and people pleasing. And can you imagine how, like, if those are some of the things that I learned early on, what it is like to try to run a service-based business with codependency and people pleasing as some of your core beliefs? It's impossible. It's almost impossible. And then add to that, I had a grandmother who at 12 years old told me that nobody wanted me, that no one wanted to have me, basically, that my parents wanted to abort me. And that takes imposter syndrome to a whole nother level. So let's wrap this up. Okay, so I can't speak. My instinct was to protect myself, and no one wanted me. And I also connected the dots. So in connecting the dots, here's some things that I will say, just to bring it all full circle. I internalized a lot of those adverse childhood experiences, and they helped me create a version of me that I needed to survive. And in that version of me that I needed to survive, I was great in some areas, and I was like learning and unlearning in other areas, right? Like there was like this whole like gamut of me that like I felt like I needed to change, that I felt like I knew I could do better, but I didn't have the tools to access. But here are some things that really helped me. Remembering that my voice matters. Like some people are committed to misunderstanding me, and I didn't really understand that as a child, but now I understand it as adults. Some people do not have the awareness, they don't have the self-awareness, and they don't have the ability to really understand, because they can only meet me to their level of awareness. The other thing I realized is that your mistakes can serve you. That we have to honor our grief, honor like who society said we should be, who our family said we should be, and who those traumatic experiences said that we should be, while stepping into who we are, right? Always ask for help. There is always help available. Pray to your higher power, God, whoever it is, your network of bad blaze besties. Like there are so many people out here who are willing to help you. Ask for it. Talk to yourself. I talk to myself all the time. I talk affirmations to myself. I speak life into myself. These are some of the things that have helped me get to where I need to be. Also, familiarize yourself with the habits of white supremacy, because we are Black women who are paving a way for other Black women in a world that we were not meant to survive. So, sis, familiarize yourself with the habits of white supremacy and how they show up in our lives, so that we can navigate them properly. And also, might I suggest we get comfortable in the skin that we are in, because we are fabulous, we are beautiful, we are taking over, you know what I'm saying? We are paving the way for young, brilliant, beautiful Black girls and femmes and gender beyond and gender expansive youth to come after us. And we've got to get comfortable so that we can create space for them to live in the fullness of who they are. Thank you.
Yeah. And it's the way she always drops the mic, right? Annika, I'm bringing you up, mama. Yeah. Come on up here, girl. uh,
Hey,
how you
everybody.
feeling? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like that was
Okay.
me.
That was you. You that girl.
Okay. I
You that
see me.
girl. Ashay. I love your earrings.
A little something, something. I ain't
I
gonna say
love
nothing, but
it.
yesterday it was my business on my earrings and a price tag. I'm
Dang.
gonna grab
And
them.
I ain't even. Dang. Next
Yeah.
time. Next
And it was by a
time.
Black woman.
You could have slipped me a little note and say, hey, these are my brand earrings, sis. Love it, love it,
Yep.
love
I'm
it.
gonna grab them.
I say, okay, y'all. So we have Anika for another 8 minutes. All right. So drop your questions or raise your hand. Okay. I want her to be able to answer all of your questions and or receive all of your flowers. I'm so proud of you. That's all I got to say, sis. I'm just so proud of you for taking up all of the space again and again and again. You
Thank
killing it.
you.
You're welcome, beautiful. You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much. This has been an incredible experience. Like,
No shame. No
yeah.
shame.
Thank you.
Look, Lindsay has raised her hand, so I'm bringing her up. Lindsay,
Oh,
you have the floor,
my
sis.
sis.
Oh, my girls. Hey, y'all. I don't have any
Yes, sis.
questions. I just wanted to come and bring you both your flowers. Obviously, everyone in the chat and who has attended the summit has been full just of the goodness. Annika just
Mhm.
had me back to back today, yesterday, and just seeing you just shine in your most authentic self. It's just so beautiful to see, and especially having personal relationships with the both of you. It's remarkable. I am getting fed, over and over and over again through you ladies. So thank you for showing up for us. Thank you for showing up and caping hard, as Casey was saying, for Black women all over the world. We need y'all. Continue to take up space. Like this was a phenomenal talk, but just thank you both just for showing up and for doing this for the culture.
You go first, Annika. What you got to say to that?
Tears. So for y'all who don't know, I met Lindsay around this time last year. When I was desperately seeking community and friendship, and Casey had a podcast, and we met like through the podcast as well, and just have been connected ever since. So Lindsay, just to have you on here saying it, I'm like, yes, my sis, like, thank you so much. Thank you. You are an incredible person, just beautiful inside and out. So I just appreciate just being in community with you and sisterhood. Like, and then you giving me my flowers, and I was giving you your flowers last time. It's just a full circle of some things. And I just thank you.
I say, man, a bunch of full circle moments. So yeah, I met Lindsay last year because she was a speaker at the Winter 2021 Summit. Okay. And her and I did a fireside chat on building Black wealth. Okay. And let me tell y'all something. Oh, Shotty cold. Like, I come from finance and I don't even talk about it that much. I'm talking about it more and more because I'm mad at them, right? And I'm doing a lot of stuff on the continent, but I ain't dealt with the US that much yet. And Shotty so cold. I looked at her, she looked at me, and we was like, yo, we got the bill, right? So we already knew we were about to disrupt the banking system. It's coming. We're working on that. And then I had a podcast where Annika was surprised by Lindsay coming on as another guest, and she was fangirling. I don't know if she told you that, Lindsay, but I was like, Annika, Lindsay about to come on. She was like, what? Because she remembered her from the summit. Now they friends coming to each other's houses and stuff, and now we're on this. Man, I'm just full circle moments, full circle moments. Ashe. Thank you, Lindsay.
I love y'all so much.
Love you too,
Love you
mama.
too, sis.
Love you too. Ashe. So good, Sharon. I'm about to bring you up. Let me make sure I'm not missing any questions. Okay, so Sharon, I'm bringing you up, and then I'm going to ask a question from Andrea, and then a question from Alexis. Sharon, the mic is yours, Mamacita.
Hello, can y'all hear me? I'm just here. I'm just here to give flowers because that was so dope, so powerful. I was listening in the background, trying to catch up on stuff, and I kept coming back to the screen because I was like, I need to see her say this. Like, I need to see her face while she say this. And then I was like trying not to get in the chat because when you get in the chat, you get caught up, and then you just be part of the conversation. I'm like, no, I got work to do. But
Yep.
it's I know I hope you felt that love, and I feel you on them earrings. So you gonna slide them into my DMs if you want to. If there was a way to send
Okay.
them personally, I would take them. Um, hit us with stuff if you ever want somebody to model your earrings. I give good neck. Um,
Okay.
but that was just amazingly powerful. So thank you for that. And that's it. That's all I got. Thank you.
Ashe, thank you so much, Sharon.
Yes, thank you, Sharon. And we done slid in each other's DMs already, so we gonna make that happen.
Hey. Dope. I love to
We are gonna
hear
make
it.
it happen.
All right, so I'm putting your first question on the stage, Anika, and it is from Andrea. She says, "Thank you for sharing your stories. What do you do on a daily basis to stay in connection with higher self?"
Um, so I'm more spiritual than I am religious. So I do, but I have like religious Church of God in Christ roots. So I read my Bible. I do affirmations daily. I meditate. I don't watch the news either. Like that is, I hear way too much. Like I still operate a crisis hotline. I'm still very active in the gender-based violence prevention and intervention.
Yeah.
So I just do my best to balance. So like I listen to myself. Like before I take on a crisis call, I pray, and I ask like, what is it that I'm supposed to say or do, or how am I supposed to show up right now? I do that before I take meetings and things like that as well, because like spirituality and like is intrinsically linked in everything that I do. And that's another thing that I've learned over these last like 5 years. Like I have to include my higher order and direction. I have to include like something that's outside of me, because like I said yesterday, or I don't think I said it, but if it were up to me, like I would be like real low key sitting somewhere, not talking to people, like I would be on a farm like the little old lady with lots of farm animals, and you think she a witch because she living in the woods by herself in nature. That would be me. Like, and that's gonna be my dream one day, because I'm not really like a people person. I'm very introverted, and it surprises a lot of people, but I see things and I want to help, but I also recognize that like now taking care of myself means like balancing. It means like sometimes I don't take the crisis. Sometimes it's like I really can't talk right now, and 5 years ago I never would have did that. I was dropped everything. But now I'm like, I can't do it right now. Like we got to figure out something else, or I have to send you somewhere else to, to work this out. But yeah, now I just center, I pray and I meditate, and I ask for direction on everything.
Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. I'm going to show some flowers for you, Anika, and then I'm going to bring Bakita to the stage. Bakita has her hand up. I
Okay.
love PG, y'all. I love PG. Okay, so let me show you your flowers.
Listen,
Alexis says roses, but I feel like you are my bestie in my head. Your
we
relatability.
are.
Period. Y'all best besties.
We
Period.
are. It ain't
Period.
just in your head, it's in reality.
Your relatability does it for me. I strive to always have that level of authenticity in my life and business. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.
Thank you, Alexis. And that's where we as Black women, like I was talking, first of all, Casey,
Mhm.
I have some friends who are just like blown away with this platform that you have created, for us, right?
Really?
And like one of my friends was like literally like crying last night, talking about like the stage that you in the presence that you've created for us, and how
Um,
we are literally like we are paving the way for the new future. Like this is it's over for all of the ways that we have been exploited, like for all the ways that we have been manipulated and just like pitted against each other. Like all of that is over, and my friend was recognizing that like y'all are literally leading the way. And I'm like, yes, it's so dope. And I was telling her about the way you have the leaderboard where you get points for supporting other Black women. I'm like, listen, y'all don't know the levels to this. And she was like, she an Aquarius, ain't she? I said, yes, she is.
I am.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is an Aquarius, and we are literally creating the systems that are going to help us like maintain our
Period.
community and maintain our own sanity and wellness as a people. So,
Period.
listen, we yeah, we besties already, Alexis. That's all I got to say. We besties
Period.
already. And if one more thing, if all of us can make sure that we start following each other, like go through your attendance list, follow everybody, like we could get our clout, our clouts up for our business just through the platform that we have here. So make sure y'all following everybody, speakers, and not just speakers, but also all of the participants. I'm going through. Send me out information. I'm gonna go through, and I've been trying to do it on my own. But yes, we can build each other's brands, literally. We
I
got
got
this.
chills. I got chills. Like for real, y'all. The world will know our names. When I say that, I am not just saying that. The world will literally know our names. The best of the best of the best that this world has ever seen, ever, is here, right here. We don't we don't have to be anything different. So I share everything you're saying, Annika. Like literally as you're talking, I have chills because yes, like this is ground zero on so many levels, man. Like Lindsay and I, y'all gonna see we're already building a fintech company that is literally going to dismantle banking in such a way that currency won't matter for Black women. Like literally fiat currency won't matter for Black women. Like it's coming literally, y'all. Like in all the ways that matter, all of us are building the things that we have always needed without permission. I can't make it, I can't help you understand the gravity of this in any other way but saying the world will know your names. I mean that. Like, period. Exactly. I promise you, guarantee the world will know your names. Okay. I say. Exactly. All right, PG, I'm bringing you up right now. The stage and mic is yours.
Wait.
You say whatever you want to say.
Right. As soon as we just don't have this set up.
Hilarious. Hey.
Look, I'm on it. I'm for real.
It's full. I love it. Hey, ladies. Annika, I'm so, my heart is racing. I'm so proud of you. Casey keeps referencing what a difference a year makes, but I want to say what a difference 6 months. We just hung out in the summer. What a difference 6 months. So listen, the only reason that I popped in is because y'all know I don't enter in a room without leaving somebody encouraged. So I'm going to leave y'all with some of my favorite scriptures because the entire summit, but all of you guys, and Annika, you especially have such a wonderful, close space in my heart. So these are some of my favorite scriptures. But before I share them, y'all, I want you to know the reason that we feel so much love and acceptance in the confines of this space is because Blaze is a house. Casey has been very intuitive to construct a house. I always hate when people say we're going to build our own tables. She built a whole house and filled it with many rooms so that each room has multiple tables with multiple chairs, and we got recliners and sofas and all of these things so we can take up all the space that we need and we can have as much room as we need. Casey, that's why I love you. That's why I'm always Cape Hard for you, cuh. Because Casey saw that there was a void and she decided to be the change and she decided to be the healing that she needed so that it exuberated throughout all of us. And sometimes I think the disconnect with what we go through is we hear so often people say that hurt people hurt people, but that's a choice. Hurt people don't have to hurt people. Hurt people can learn, and then hurt people can heal. And that's what Casey chose to do. That's what Annika does. When you sit and have intimate conversations with these ladies, you get to experience their pain and their triumph because they refuse to get stuck in the moment that they were. They want to keep elevating and pull us all along with them. So these are my favorite scriptures, y'all. Psalm 139:14 has so many different variations in the Bible, but one says, I am fearfully and wonderfully made in his image. But in the Message translation, it says, thank you, God, for making me so wonderfully complicated. Y'all, we are so wonderfully complicated. There is nothing unique about us. We are as diverse as a fingerprint. And so don't ever let anybody discourage you or make you feel like whatever you've gone through has invalidated you. That only solidified us. That made us great. It made us different. It made us strong. I don't believe in calling Black women resilient because it creates a narrative that we don't ever get tired and we don't need to be soft and we don't need to be loved. We are blossoming and ever evolving and changing, and we are thriving. And sometimes we are ugly and we are mean and we are hangry and we are grumpy. We are all of the things. And that is why we're supposed to be that way, because we're so wonderfully complex. My other favorite scripture is that everything starts with a good intention and the rest is up to you. That is Psalms 115. Y'all, Everything was already seated inside of us. So anything that we want to accomplish, anything that we want to be, anything that we want to leave in the earth, it's already in us. We just have to do it. We just have to be it. We just have to say it. I love you so much, Annika. I'm so proud of you.
I love you
Casey,
too. Thank you.
girl, this is year 2, y'all. Y'all would think with the level of excellence that Casey has put on this summit, you would think that this was 10 years in the making. Y'all, this was just a dream from a few months ago. This was a dream from a few months ago. I caught her when the dream was like in process. And I gravitated to Casey's spirit because she spoke to something in me. I'm 48 years old and I am still in corporate America. Casey spoke to something in me that I had never seen before. Making space for Black women so that we don't have to have this survivor get voted off the island mentality. There is more than enough room for all of us. So my quest this year has been to make sure that when Black women come through my desk and they're being interviewed for jobs that they're not qualified for, no, we not tossing their resume out. We bringing them on. We developing them. We bringing them on the team. We're going to teach them what they know, what they need to know. We're going to coach them, and we're going to make sure that they have access to the same pot of money that mediocre white boys who barely graduated from high school get to. And that is what I have been doing. That has been my mission and admonition within the corporate workplace this year. And I'm seeing changes. We have hired, I want to say within the last 90 days, 5 Black leaders, 5 Black leaders in my firm. All because I refuse to let them push those resumes to the side. Y'all, take up space, make room, and pull each other up. Pull each other up. That's what Blaze is all about. That's why Casey built this house. That's why Annika popped in last year. That's why Lindsay popped in last year. That's why I popped in last year. Y'all, this is not by happenstance. God does not do chance. All of this is a divine assignment. So take your assignment, take your place, fill in the gaps, be who you want to be, and don't be your experience. Be the end result that you want to see. I love y'all. Mwah.
I love you too. Thank you for preaching.
Yeah, stay right there now, Paquita. Listen now. Listen now. Listen now. Listen now.
Get a case.
Listen now. Okay, because after Annika got done yesterday, we talked about how this is church. And I already knew then what PG's role in the church was. Okay? I already knew then what her role in the church was, but I knew at some point she was going to come to this stage. Okay? So as she is on the stage, let me introduce y'all to the historian, the secretary, and the occasional pastor that comes in to shut it down because she keeps score, she keeps records, she tells the story. I'm talking about Lord Jesus. I'm talking about when I met her before she even hit the stage for the Winter 2021 Summit. She sat there and said, Casey, and she told me about this house I had built before she got on the stage. Like a gift that is like no other. She keeps score. She keeps record. Okay, she showed up to the continent a couple of months ago. I got to hug her. She kept saying, I get to smell Casey. I'm talking about it's the way that she sees the world and articulates the story, man. Like intricate details. And even then she had me crying because she keeps scoring. Y'all, she is so very special. I do not have words, Paquita, for all that you have affirmed in me, because the stuff that's up here, y'all, I don't even try to put it into words. I just make sure y'all feel it when it comes. I'm talking it's a lot of stuff that I already see and taste and smell. But somehow Paquita keeps seeing it before it happens. She saw that something before it happened. And then y'all experience the rooms and the doors and the pillows and you know what I'm saying? So I honor you, sis. I give you all of your flowers. I was always supposed to meet you, and I'm just so happy that I relented and surrendered to life so that I could intersect with you, because you have deposited so much good in my life. And thank you for giving me hugs a couple of months ago. I needed that.
Yes.
Ashe.
Yes.
Ashe. Thank you. I love
I
you
love
so much.
y'all.
Love you.
Yes.
I mean it, ladies. Y'all hold on to these moments. These moments are things that happen like shooting stars. They don't exist. They don't exist in the regular world. You have to be spiritually tapped in to get moments like this. And God hand selects. He hand selects the people and the places and the prospects and the words and the phrases and the emotions. He hand selects all of those things. So consider yourselves God's favored child, that he hand selected you for these moments just like this. I'm so happy for y'all. So happy for y'all.
Thank you, PG.
You better quit.
We gonna work on that podcast, Annika.
Listen. You're right. We are gonna do it. We gonna get on the calendar. And for those who asked about the book I held up, it's Paquita's strategy journal.
Yep.
So she could be found in the marketplace. It's Hayward and Love. That's Paquita's thing. And I use this strategy journal, like it's weekly priorities. It's all kind of stuff. I be using that to keep me on track. So I wanted to plug that. Can I say something? Like 2 things. Do we have any more questions?
I'm leaving y'all.
No, bye, PG.
Love you.
No, we just going to the journal wind down after this, so you can wrap it with your comments now.
Okay, so 2 things. So these are my earrings, Priceless Incite earrings. So that's one. And actually, fun fact, this is Marquesa's silhouette in the middle. Like this person right here. The first one is me, and that second one is Marquesa. So that's dope. And then these are the other ones. I just want to show y'all that we have merch that's gonna be coming again.
Dope.
Yeah.
That's dope, sis. Keep us posted, man.
Thank you. I sure will. And I just wanted to say, so I'm in a period of grieving as well. There was a young woman who was a entrepreneur, young Black mom. She has a baby who's like about 2 years old, if that, and an 18-year-old. And she helped us with some of the organizing that we did in Milwaukee, with You Black and a Black Women's March. And she literally just opened her youth center a week ago. So that Saturday she opened her youth center. That following Sunday, she got into a car accident and lost her life. And I'm just, as a person who has been in a tremendous amount of mental and emotional and physical pain that have led me to think thoughts, suicidal thoughts, led me to want to give up, led me to want to, like question my purpose in what I'm doing. And as a Black woman entrepreneur, I know how much she put into what she did. She went out and she went to the margins of the margins and got the babies in Milwaukee. So Marquesa talked about Milwaukee, but Milwaukee, y'all. So many high-speed car chases, so many like things going on in Milwaukee that like literally it is a culture shift when I come down here, because I don't have to put a club on a car. In Milwaukee, if I'm not putting a club on a car before I leave, like that car might not be there when I get back, literally, right? And that's the city that Marquesa is organizing in and speaking truth to power is. And that's the city that this young lady went out and grabbed those kids who were still in those cars, got all in their face and was like, nah, we're not doing this. So those are the babies that she worked with, the ones that nobody wanted to work with, the ones that gave up, the ones that are justice system involved. Those are the ones that she worked with. And she literally just opened her youth mentoring / life coach center, y'all. And I'm saying all of that to say, like, thank you for the condolences, y'all. But like, I know that a lot of times we question what we're doing and why we're doing it and who we're doing it for. And if it is on our hearts and if it's in our minds, if it's in our spirits and it won't let us be, it is for something greater than us. And I know, like, as an entrepreneur, like I said, I've had moments where I wanted to give up. I've had moments where I've wanted to take my own life. I've had these moments. In her life, and the celebration of her life, and all that she has done in the community, like, that is my proof and evidence that I need to keep moving forward, because sis didn't make it home. Sis did not make it to make. She ain't make it home. Her work here is done on that level. And it's up to us to continue to, like, reach out, because there's so many young people who need us, because the world is gonna keep pushing them aside, and they're gonna keep saying whatever it is that they say, fill in the blank about our Black babies, but somebody got to go get them. Thank you for giving me space to say that.
So many condolences to you, sis. I hope that you take the time and space to heal, like, for real, I hope that you do, because we gonna be here when you done, okay? The folk you serving gonna be when you done, right? But take time and space to heal. I'm so sorry about that, and thank you for sharing that as a grounding story for us. Love and light to her family too. Thank you, sis.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Annika. We appreciate this. We are closing out this session, y'all, officially. And we are transitioning into the segment that is the journal wind down. Now, again, okay, every day goes higher, right? And you are literally being elevated, not pushed, okay? Because we're going with you, and there's time and a pace for this, right? You are literally being elevated to a place where by the end of these 5 days, it truly ain't gonna be a burden. Like for real, you ain't gonna be scared of it, right? So this segment is about to be it is very, very important. It already is very, very important. This is the final journal wind down session. And it is called Chakra Alignment. We have Neff McGriff coming back to do this. This is her last time doing this today, okay? So meet me over there at that session, a 30-minute wind down, a 30-minute journal wind down. It is called Chakra Alignment. Definitely have your pen and your paper ready. If you have not been here for the last 2 journal wind downs, I promise y'all it's everything. And then we just have 2 days left. Like, that's it. We got 2 days left, and that's it. Okay. So thank y'all for rocking with us. I'll see y'all in the journal wind down session. Peace.